Gaming Manual.
Welcome back to the Gaming Manual. I'm Josh, and today we are discussing Electronic Gaming Monthly, issue 122. It's hard to believe, but 24 years ago, Dreamcast was the next big gaming console, and I, for one, still love it. Once again, we have the table of contents 10 pages in, following a bunch of ads. But the ads are actually interesting to look at, if nothing else. This table of contents also looks a lot smaller in terms of the font size, but has a lot more going on. Were they afraid that it wouldn't stick out enough? Wait, what is this? Did they just call their intern a slave? And they ignore his opinions? Yeesh, it's not a good way to recruit future interns or employees. Letters to the editors. I always found it interesting to see what other people wrote in to ask about, and here we have a topic of boy versus girls.
Are girls better physically at games than guys are? I mean, are they better equipped to beat the Bowsers, the Dr. Wileys, and Robotniks of the world than I am? I used to think I was pretty good at games, but then met my significant other, who promptly beat me at Star Fox and is now kicking my butt at Wave Race. Is she just better equipped physically, or do I just suck? I don't think games should start being tailored for girls. Girls just need to start playing more games. If they would just try it, they'd like it. Maybe it's just a case of games not being hip for girls to play. I hope not, because it would be a sad world if that were the case. And I think not, because all of my chick friends play games and love them. Maybe they should start more advertising campaigns directed at female gamers, replacing ads in more chickie magazines. I really hate it when she beats me, but I like it too. It keeps me competitive. I really hate it when she beats me, but I like it too. When she says beats, I just think of him like physically beating him. I really hate it when she beats me, but I like it too. It keeps me competitive, and I like having an opponent I hate and love at the same time.
And in the response from the girlfriend, titled Girls vs. Boys,
okay, I'm writing because my boyfriend just told me that he wrote you and asked you guys if girls are physically equipped better than guys, or something like that, to play video games. He griped that I beat him at Star Fox and Wave Race. He didn't mention countless other games. Well, not just beat him, kick the crap out of him. That's such a load of bull. Just because I'm as good at video games, if not better than him, or in general, any guy, but this is specifically aimed at him for now, doesn't mean it's only because I'm better equipped, which, by the way, I'm not. He should accept that I'm a good player, and that the ass-kicking he received was given fairly by practice and hard work alone. I just thought that if you printed his letter, this would be a nice follow-up from a female perspective. And if you do happen to find out that females are better equipped, it would be good for my side of things if it would...
oh, and here's one, calling out the editors for showing bias, which, to be fair, they do, even in this magazine. Whoa! What kind of ad is this? Yeah, what could it possibly be for? Battle Tanks for the Nintendo 64. With an ad like that, you know you must at least try the game. Pokemon-themed Game Boy Color and the soundtrack to the hit anime TV show. Granted, it is just a Game Boy Color with some Pokemon on it and 2 colors for the body. Yet somehow, owning this Game Boy made you one of the cool kids from the 90s. The CD was great too, but aside from the opening theme and the poker rap, nothing was from the anime or TV show. So I don't really know why it was the soundtrack, but hey, the music was good. Lean. I had a friend from school who had this. When it came out, I remember how amazing it was. Or at least how it was for the first 5 minutes before I realized it didn't run as smoothly as it did on my PlayStation. But it's crazy to think that at one point in time, an emulator was sold so you could play it on your PC. You know, in case you wanted to buy the game but not the system, or just game preservation in general. I was going to talk about this insert of Pac-Man Fever and Billy Mitchell whole record thing, but much like Billy Mitchell's Eagle, this didn't age well. Rumors were always the talk of the school lunch table. Which ones are real, which ones are fake. Here, we have some rumors that the editors allegedly managed to confirm were real or fake. At the time, we took their word for it, but let's face it, we still doubt some of these claims of proven rumors just because we're always finding out more secrets, especially in older video games. Would you look at that? The top 20 has Pokemon on it not once, but twice. Red and blue version. I'm not sure why the score is different, given it's the same game, different Pokemon. But I guess people just like blue better. Remember that letter to the editor that were accused of being biased towards PlayStation? Well, go no further because here we can see that the top 20 is dominated by PlayStation titles. I'm not saying that the editors were biased, but it does appear that way to the readers when one system trends heavily in the favor of a specific console. Before the days of cable internet, dial-up was the only way to surf the web. And that wasn't a good or reliable way to find out what games were coming out. This made it hard to save up enough money for a game, or worse, you would buy a game only to find out a better title was coming out in a week or two. Thankfully, most magazines had some sort of coming soon sections to let you know what games were, coming soon. Granted, it was by title only, but for some of these, do you really need screenshots? Like Sonic Adventure? You know we're gonna buy it anyways. Known titles had a better chance of building up anticipation than some random third party that no one ever heard of. But for me and my friends, we did have a fun time trying to guess what the game could be like, just based on some of these names alone. Dreamcast Preview. This was clearly one of the selling points of this magazine, given that they even based the cover on Dreamcast. You would hope that you'd be able to read about upcoming titles and which ones are going to be released at launch. The first 4 pages have a decent amount of coverage, but after that they just squeezed more and more onto the page, making it feel less and less like a preview and more of a guessing game. On the bright side, you at least knew that Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and that wannabe Twisted Metal game Vigilant 8 were at least going to be available when the system released. I remember when I first heard about Pokemon Snap, it was a huge deal that it was going to be a Pokemon game where you take pictures instead of capturing or battling them. It was a one-of-a-kind video game, not just for Pokemon, but in general, as it was unheard of to be moving on a track while you had free movement to take pictures of what would be a Pokemon's natural habitat. It always reminded me of being on some kind of amusement park ride, and I'm amazed that they never made an actual ride from it.
Alright, and here we have WCW Mayhem on the N64. The N64 and WCW are usually a match made in heaven, but this game is an exception to that rule. I have no idea how they dropped the ball on this one. It's almost like for as good as WCW NWO Revenge was, that's how bad this game is. The controls are wonky, the graphics are glitchy, the grappling is all over the place, special moves are hard to do, and worst of all, comes fighting a computer opponent that just button mashes, hits their special, and pins you in 3 seconds. No joking. Avoid this one like the plague.